Karen,
Hi.
how are you? Oh, lovely to see you in person.
Yes, you too. I'm glad I knew it was live. I went and brushed my hair a bit.
I know my hair is looking a bit feral today. It's been a long week. No, thank you very much. Hello to everyone watching, and this is the Local Connect Northern Beaches series, and we have the lovely Karen, who owns Catering by Design. So, hello and welcome on this lovely Thursday. It's sunny today. Well, it's sunny here anyway. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. Third lockdown's been a lot tougher, I think, than the last one. But
yeah, can only hope to get out of it.
I don't think we're out of it before Christmas. I think I don't know. I can't imagine there's going to be lots of parties for quite a while.
No.
Party.
Well, we got to get food after the last few people that have joined. Food is definitely something that's bringing people together. So so excited to talk to you about that today. Look, why don't you start with telling us a little bit about your business and a little bit more about yourself and how it got started.
Oh, so I started 24 years ago next month, actually. And,
oh, wow. Congrats.
And yeah, Catering by Design. And I'd been travelling. I'd been a Kentucky tour guide, and I'd been travelling, working in hospitality in the UK, Canada, and then back to Australia, and got a proper job kind of in a marketing company, and then just it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I was always doing something side. And I did work for Dial an Angel, where I just went to people's homes. I'd studied commercial cookery and ended up starting Catering by Design quietly. And it was just one of those things where, like, do a job, get a job. And I've always been about being of service. So it was just, you do a party, 50, 100, 200 people, and there was always somebody that would take a business card and say, oh, that was great. And so that's how I marketed. We never did anything. But one of the funny stories is I always had a business card. I've always had business cards that, like a little brochure. So if you open them up, and the other one had balloons on it, ironically, and I'd taken those off now. The original ones had balloons. And a girl went to a party, I think it was an 18th, and she'd kept the card and came to me for her wedding 6 years later. So people kept them. And I've got clients where I did a party for Jack's 5th birthday at a soccer oval, and I'm about to do his wedding, and he's 26 now.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Yeah, I didn't think, you know how you have a hairdresser? Well, people have, apparently, but I never knew that I was their caterer until the last few years, actually. It's been pretty cool, so.
That's absolutely fantastic. So you have some loyal followers, loyal fans that have followed you throughout time. Well, you must be excellent at your job then, creating that customer service.
We're not the fanciest, expensivest food, is that a word? But I'm all about, we always write menus to suit their budget, what they want. It's really important to me that we can talk through food. I don't go, here's a menu, choose things. I certainly go, here's an idea, because some people just don't know. But I really want to create something that's significant. And we've certainly crossed countries with the different foods that we've created. So that's where the joy is. If I had to do the same thing every day, I'd go nuts. I just wouldn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, I could imagine yours is quite a diverse type of business. So what different services that you've got under your banner, right? So maybe kind of explain what it is.
Oh, okay. So Catering by Design supports events at venues, private homes. We cater anywhere, the islands, in the harbour, charter boats, wherever we go. And one of the things that I've done a lot of is a lot of wake catering, so the dead end side of things. And I always work with the families on, tell me about the person. What was their favourite food? Like last week it was beef stroganoff. Next Friday we're doing an Asian theme, Christmas in July, bizarrely. Yeah. And then since COVID, actually, we kind of did a brand adjustment, and we added Heavenly Catering. So Catering and Heavenly Catering, purely because with catering for wakes, there's only so much time. Like a wedding, we can take a year even, to plan. But with wakes, they can be just as big and as complex as a wedding, but we've only got a few days. So there's a website called Heavily Catering just to help people get the information fast and give them some ideas. And again, very bespoke when they choose to, but it gives them some ideas. They can work on budgets. And then we work with funeral directors on maybe doing an outdoor event, or they need furniture, or they need bar or coffee and tea, or, we've had entertainment at wakes. There's so many complexities, just like a wedding is exactly what catering can be. So, and that's what I love. And I get so much joy out of supporting people and celebrating life, because I think that is so important.
Yeah, and it's probably something that people don't need that extra stress and worry, and it's great that you provide that service so that they, it's one less thing that they have to worry about, hey?
Well, I had 8 funerals in 5 months in my family, close friends, and I was in a fog. I couldn't think. And when you do flowers and locations and caskets, the last thing they need to know is, did you want, I don't know, whatever food it could be.
I know, because sometimes you can't think when your mind's going into that trauma stage, or even you would say like weddings and stuff. Because I remember with my wedding, I was just like, oh, I don't even know what food. Just put whatever. I said to the lady, just do whatever it seems nice, because you don't know at that stage where you're too stressed out to worry about it. Hey,
but the Friday week ago, the gentleman that passed away, very well known in the music industry, literally dropped dead of a heart attack at 50. The complexities and there's just trauma that comes with all that. So if I can understand where they're at and take care of that, or if they're, if you're celebrating a teenager who's passed away, or a newborn baby, there's just different elements, and having been there and understanding where the family can be at, or the complexities of family. The interesting thing right now, of course, is we've done funerals for 100, but now we're doing funerals for 10 because they can't have the people. So there's a whole other level of and connection, and I've become very close to a lot of those people because we're so entrenched in the family situation and helping them to celebrate in a crap environment, really.
Yeah. And so how have you seen COVID affect that kind of all the events and the industries that are obviously impacted certain things, not face to face and then back to face, and it's been out and in of lockdown?
Yeah, I think I was on a Zoom call with our local member Jason Valinsky and Rob Stokes and the head of Service New South Wales day before yesterday, and one of the questions I put to them is, it's fine to turn us back on. You turn us back on, but we don't turn on, because you can't just suddenly have an event for 100 people. If we turn on Friday, we can't turn around on Saturday and go, oh, we've got 100 people. A, there's the whole organising everything, but B, we're not allowed to. That you don't have the musicians, the hire companies, the entertainers, just the food, the staff. There's just so much more. So I hope that they take it on board. I'm still rallying to then help people still get consistent support, because you can't. Even though they go, you're open, it doesn't work like that. One of the things they have said, which is what they've done with the building industry, with them opening up on the weekend, they've said today you can go set your sites up, start getting your gear early, because they acknowledge that it's hard for the tradies, the construction companies, just to turn back on. They've never really considered that with our industry, and I'm hoping that they kind of wake up and do that. There's a lot of people out there hurting in this industry.
Yeah, no, definitely, and your brand is amazing. You shouldn't don't downplay it. What you do, honestly, that is just, there must be so many different things that you're juggling at the moment. Hats off to you, definitely, you busy lady.
Thank you.
And you wrote a book.
I did write a book, and I wrote it before. All my friends just because I wrote it 14 years ago, and they all know I was writing this book, and I got harassed a bit. But in COVID, because I've been so busy, with a bit of time, I literally pulled it out and gave it to one of my team members who does on my back end. She does an amazing job, and she said, I've got a friend that's an editor. So she literally took the box, took it to the editor, and they were very encouraging, and it got heavily edited because I'd written it in my first tense, third tense. So it was all a bit all over. The information was there, but it was just quite, not quite in the format to be succinct, let's say. And Kath, who edited it, and a shout out to Nick, who was just phenomenal. They pulled it together, and we did there's a lot of work that goes into this thing. Anyway, I okay, if we're going to do this, I need a deadline. I'm good with deadlines. And the Northern Beaches Council have the internet. There's seniors week everywhere, so the council does some stuff. So I put it to council and said, I've written this book. It's about the funeral industry as such. And they said, sure. So they gave us a venue. So we had this deadline, and we launched the book on the 26th of April and had 220 people and a whole bunch of live streaming. And this baby was born. Where there's a will, there's a way. Going your own way. So that's my grandma at 104, my great aunt, sorry, just about 104. My dad, 62, my best friend, 30. My uncle at 47 and dropped dead. And then my dog. And yeah, launched this book. Now, the irony is for you, Tamron, being environmentally friendly, the original cover, can you see?
Yeah.
Was balloons and a timber casket. And the final the balloons away, we added alcohol and put in an environmentally wicker casket. So, because since I'd written it, so much had changed.
Yeah.
So, but it's been surprised how well it's going, and it's now been picked up and it's in a bookstores Australia-wide. So it's information to help people go their own way and to create a magnificent celebration of life. But it's not just about funerals as such. It's about we've all got to get our act together. And one of the things, because since I've become a funeral director as well, a funeral's an event, right? So I bring a whole other element to a funeral, which I love, but I also get to see the tragedy of it when a family loses a lot, like their mum or dad say, who's got small children and they don't have a will. So I'm really wanting to advocate people to really take a read of this or find the information and really get paperwork in order and all support each other and making sure we've got a will and an enduring guardianship, power of attorney. I now see what happens when people don't, and it's horrible. Bank accounts get frozen, accounts can't get paid. Or her rent. Like, there's a lot of tragedy around it, and looking at, what do we have insurance-wise and superannuation-wise, and there's a lot more. And, educating yourself in it, and don't buy funeral insurance. Like, that's one thing you don't buy, but just understanding. And if I can help, the 50-year-old age group that have parents that are getting older, just to make sure they understand how it works, because you get thrown in otherwise and you don't really know. We don't know what we're doing. And I've said to the politicians, we get a little bit of sex education. Now, I must say I went to Cromer High School, so I got a bit of extra sex education. But at no point do we get death education. And I think we that. So I don't know if you've heard of a group or the organisation called the Groundswell Project.
Yeah.
So the Groundswell Project have a day every year called Dying to Know Day. Big media around it every year, and that is on the 8th of August this year, as it is every year. So they've picked up running with it as well. So this year we'll have it, if people can touch base, and if they want to call me, get in touch and find a help if I can help them, if they'd like a book. But just so that we can all have that conversation and keep it open.
Yeah. No, it's really important because honestly, I think you go through your stages of life and then you think, your 20s, you're partying, whatever, and then 30s, you're like, I think about my financial, and then someone asks you, do you have a will, or, your superannuation, and then 40s, you're like, I don't have anything in place, so, oh my gosh, and it's definitely something, unless you've been through it, like my husband had to go through it with his mom passing away, and just having she didn't have any plans or anything put in place, and it's just what he's told me. That's why we've been so careful about doing our own. But without that, I probably would have never even thought about it myself, to be honest. But it's so important because otherwise your loved ones left behind are kind of have to struggle to get it. And sometimes it goes on for years, doesn't it?
And I think it's really important to have a conversation around it. That what do you want? If you planned your wedding, you had all this conversation around your wedding. Well, how do you want to be remembered? And that takes, what do you want done with your stuff? What's important? Do you want something to go to somebody? And there's so many things around there. But hopefully this will help, because that's what the intention is.
Yep, definitely, and strongly advise anyone to think about even if it's your favorite prized possession. I mean, I personally, I'm a bit of I have emotional ties to certain things that I own. And, I definitely think about it. Oh, what's going to happen to it one day? I can't, take it with me.
Something, or do you have one thing?
I probably have a handful of things. Like if they're not worth anything, but they're more like emotional kind of things. And I think, I would want that to kind of go to someone, you know.
So, I mean, I've got a friend whose mother collected spoons. I've got another friend whose mother symbols. I travelled the world and collected patches and sewed them on my backpack. I did a funeral with a lady that had collected. She had extraordinary handbag collection. So her husband had passed away, and I think she just went shopping and with her granddaughter, and she had this amazing handbag collection. And they were not posh handbags by any means, like, you know, at all. But the son had to empty out her unit, and we said, why don't we just take some of the handbags? And we put some on the casket, and then made an announcement with the celebrant talking at the service, said, you know, this lady would love you all to have a handbag. And I swear it was like a David Jones sale, but it solved the problem of the handbags, and other people that got one just felt like they were really connected to her. So it was something. We did another one with T-shirts. This guy had 1,000 T-shirts, and the family were like, what do you do with 1,000 T-shirts? So it was people. And then the other day I did a lady who had a kind of a beautiful necklace collection. They weren't jewel necklaces. It was just something that she was known for. So the daughter was only 30, a single mum, single daughter, gifted each of the close friends a necklace. So that's the kind of thing where you can think about, I'd like to give this to so-and-so, or something that's significant. And it also helps them go, what do we do with all your stuff? Because we've all got all this stuff.
It's such a good idea. I think it's an amazing idea. I didn't even know, like, that. I haven't even thought about that before. Like, definitely having it, you know, to give to your loved ones, and like, especially at your wake or wherever, you know. I think that's really good.
And the other thing there is make sure that you adjust every couple of years. Like, look at circumstances change. People are in and out of your life. Sorry, did I lose you? Circumstances change. People are in and out of your life. We need to look at, we might move, where are we going to, things will change. So then just make sure you keep an updated file. In here, in the book, I've created a thing called Create Your Frog File. And inside there's a scanning document. So the frog file is about creating a frog file for when you croak, so that you've got everything together, and it helps people pull your act together. And now that we're in lockdown in the Northern Beaches again, there's a time to maybe start looking at making some notes and getting our act together. Me too. Like, trust me, me too.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, I think it's good to utilize your time. I know you and I were talking before, and, you know, like, lockdown in Sydney definitely gave me like a newfound, you know, investigation into like a business. And my husband and I we were only talking about this last night. And I don't think because I was in such a fast-paced environment, going to work every day, you're just so tired by the end of the day. But having time to kind of reflect on things, you know, it's definitely a time now to kind of go, oh, well, what can I utilize that time to do? You know, think about things that you wouldn't normally do from like an admin perspective, on, you know, start a business like myself. Probably would have never done that unless I had extra time on my hands. Yeah.
I mean, it's things that have come out of this. I really do. And it's a time that we can do stuff that we normally don't have time. I agree. I think it's been fantastic. You know, I mean, there's certainly days where I've been down, and, you know, and I've kind of gone, you know what, I can't do events for a while, and that's okay. You know, I really think that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of time out. So is there anything that you want to kind of say to people about, like, any events or campaigns that they can get involved in the next months, weeks?
Day. It'll be in the media on the 8th. Have a look at, if you want the book, get in touch with me. I'm pretty easy to find. If I can ever help anybody that's going through loss or wants to talk about a funeral, I am a fully qualified independent funeral director that's not involved with the big guys, and happy to help with alternative and conversations. I love educating people because I didn't know a bloody thing when I went through it, and use COVID to like create magic in your own world, because you've got the time, you know. And I appreciate, I've got friends that are homeschooling that are drinking because they're just not coping very well, but you know, there's time to be with the kids that you probably wouldn't have had, and connect with them, and so many activities. And we can help each other. Like, I love that I can reach out and help somebody and shop for them or deliver for them. Today I've made the most extraordinary amount of Anzac biscuits to drop off to our neighbours. You know, and I
That's
feel good. So, yeah, whatever we can do. We can all do something.
No, Anzac was yummy. No, good. They're good on you for helping.
And I have lots of friends that have internationally that have lost a lot of family members. So I'm very aware of, we are very blessed where we live. We are so lucky where we live that we're okay. Big time.
Yeah. Yeah, and supporting each other, looking after each other is really important. Okay, cool. So what, just in case people don't know how to find you, how can they find you? What's the best way to get in contact?
Catering by Design, Funerals by Design, Sailing by Design, and Heavenly Catering.
There we go. You pick your options. Catering Design, they're very responsive on Instagram because I tried it earlier when I sent a random message. So there we go. You can get hold of them on social media or via their websites.
Thank you.
Awesome.
When I do wake up again, I would love support in Sailing by Design. So I bought a charter boat on Pittwater, and we can take 20 guests, and it's beautiful out there. And I love that when people have not experienced Pittwater before, that we can show them something that's in their own backyard, and having families on board, and they can swim in the basin, and we've done ashes scattering off the boat as well. And that's just been just spectacular, because I was fortunate enough to grow up on Pittwater, and now I get to show other people have an experience of it. And I didn't realise that so many people have never been on Pittwater and understand how it all works. So, yeah, it's fun, and it's beautiful in winter because it's really calm and fresh and warm. You know, we're protected by the wind, from the wind, so it's...
I'll be there, Karen. I'll be there.
On board. We're very environmental friendly on the boat.
Yeah. I'm very impressed with your sustainability journey, and thank you very much for doing that.
I'm going to save it. Preserve it.
Reserve it. Well, thank you very much. It's been lovely talking to you, Karen, and I strongly advise people to get in touch if you've been thinking about it, or just want to find out a little bit more.
Have a bit crazy, a bit of fun. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Get out of lockdown, okay?
Yeah, for sure. I'll be seeing you soon.
Thanks.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye, all.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.